Hi everyone, welcome to episode 121 of the Arieknits podcast. My name is Ariel and this is a video podcast where I talk about all the things that I have been knitting and spinning on for the past week. Today it is Sunday, July 6th, and as I'm recording this, it's a little bit later in the afternoon. And so as you probably maybe noticed, this video did not go up. I usually try to post it sometime in the morning on Sundays, maybe early afternoon, but this is not going out until later. But I would really hope that I can get this edited and out on Sunday, at least, my time zone. A lot of things happened this weekend. A lot of non-knitting things happened this weekend, but I had a great 3-day weekend. Surprisingly, not that much knitting and spinning. Oh my goodness, what? But I have some very exciting things to share with you all anyway that happened since the last time that I filmed. And so, we can talk about the non-knitting things later, after I talk about the knitting and spinning things. So I have I have one finished object to talk about. I have some just progress on whips. I have one new cast on. And I actually have a sewing project to share with you all. Wow, crazy. I'm excited to share that one. I'm not done with it. It is still, mostly done, but I still have to do some finishing details on it, but I'm excited to share it with you all because I'm trying to get my sewing mojo back this season. And so this 3-day weekend was a chance for me to get back into sewing. And of course, Tour de Fleece started yesterday. However, I have not started spinning, but I will, once I get to the spinning section, we'll talk about it. Okay, what I'm wearing today. This is a test knit. I finished it a few weeks ago, or maybe a little more longer than that. But this is my first time I think I'm wearing it on the podcast. The design, the pattern is not out yet, but I think that it might come out sometime in July, maybe end of July. So definitely keep an eye out, but I wanted to wear it. I thought the weather today would be great to wear it. This is the Islander Vest by Claire Jackson. This was a test knit. I finished this, I think, a few weeks ago. The pattern is not out yet, but I think that it might be coming out later in July. The test ends kind of mid-July, so definitely keep an eye out, but I thought this would be a great one to wear for today's video. Because the weather's been really nice, pretty warm today actually. And the yarn I use for this is Less Traveled yarn in the colorway Jade, and I knit size 3. I use US 5 needles, 3.75 millimeter needles to knit this. And final measurements, so this one, there is optional bust shaping if you want, and I decided to do it. I don't normally feel like I need bust shaping, and this one I probably didn't need it either, but because it was a test knit and I wanted to try out the instructions for it, I just did a little bit. So for final measurements, it is 32 inches in the upper bust circumference, so basically up here, before any bust shaping. And so that gives me about 2 inches of positive ease for upper bust, and then I just increased a little bit for full bust measurements and came back a little bit down for the waist decreases. I don't have that much of a difference between all of those measurements, so the bust shaping isn't really, that dramatic for me. But again, I just wanted to try out the instructions. I thought it was really clear. And it looked a little intimidating at first just because it was a lot of numbers to have to fill in, but it worked out nice. I understood it, and I think it came out really nice. I will stand up really quickly to share with you all. This is a V-neck shaped vest, and as you can see, it opens in the front, and you can do whatever you want with the opening. For this one, I decided to do 2 ties. In Claire's version, there are 3 ties, and I think 3 ties would have been fine, but I always, when I've pictured a V-neck vest, a, summer V-neck vest, I always picture it with 2 bows, and so I went with 2 bows. They're I-cord, and so you can, take them, you can undo the bows, Their I-cord's just attached, sewn onto wherever, whatever point you feel like it would fit on your vest, and it works out just like that. I think it's really, really nice edging details here, just all across the edging. Here's the side. It's just all over stockinette, besides the edging details, and I just think it's just a really nice, very staple looking piece, and I would most likely wear this always with a shirt under it, and so that's how I plan to wear it. But I think it's really cute, and very excited to have like a summery kind of vest. And I mean, and it won't stop me. Like, I can wear a long sleeve under it and wear it when it gets colder too. So I'm really happy with it. I've worn it a few times, and yeah, it just makes me feel really cute. Like the bows, anytime there's bows, I feel like I gotta have it pretty much. So I'm very, very happy with it. It was a great test knit experience. This was my first time testing for Claire Jackson, and I thought it went really nicely. I didn't participate in the Discord chat almost like at all. I think I just had like 1 or 2 questions towards the beginning of the test that I just emailed Claire for clarification on and for a fix, and it went very smoothly. And so, yeah, great. Happy that I tested for a designer that I haven't before. And this is like my second pattern that I've knit from Claire Jackson. I think the same time that I was doing this test, I was also knitting the Mark and Henley by Claire Jackson, so it was kind of like my first and second pattern that I knit from her. I did them kind of like both at the same time, and it was great. And yeah, I'm very, very pleased and very happy with the results of this this vest. Okay, so that's what I'm wearing today. Let's talk about my one finished object for the week. And okay, I'm just remembering now, we're now in July. I think the last time we talked, it was still June, and I needed to get my June socks done, and I did. On the last day of June, I got my socks done, my June socks. Whew. Wow. This took me, I mean, I had to work. I had to get going on these socks, but they're done, and so I'm happy. Keeping my streak going of getting my socks, my monthly socks done during the month. These are a 2x2 rib sock. I didn't follow a pattern for the entire sock pattern. It's just 2x2 rib, but I did follow a pattern for the heel, which is a fish lips kiss heel, and the pattern that I followed for that is just fish lips kiss heel sock by Socks Therapist, and it's a short row kind of heel, and I think I really like it. Okay, I have not tried these on yet after washing and blocking. These are washed and blocked. I actually got them washed, and well, I don't really, when I say block, I don't actually like pin them out or put them on sock blockers. I just like lay them flat to dry. But I just pulled them off of on the mats, the drying mats, for this video, and so I haven't worn them yet. But I'm hoping that it'll be pretty cool-ish this week so that I can wear these during the week and then just give you guys an update maybe on how I feel specifically on the heel for this sock and see how I like it. But yeah, so here's the socks. They look very long, but again, it's because it's 2x2 rib, and so it will stretch out quite a bit when worn on a foot. So yeah, I'm very happy with these. I love how they look. I like how the yarn knit up for these. It looks very stripy and just lots of colors, which was very fun. The yarn was Sewrella Yarn Classic Sock in the colorway The Garden Room. And I didn't follow a pattern for these, but I just did a 60 stitch cast on for this. And I used a US 1 needle, 2.25 millimeter needles to knit these socks. And yeah, I'm very happy with them. They were a great project for the month of June because I feel like I had a lot of, as far as sock pattern goes, like sometimes I just want a sock pattern where I don't need to look at a pattern. For this one, all I had to look at was for the heel. But the rest of it, all the rest of it, I didn't have to look at a pattern, and I thought that was great. I had a lot of things that, or like events and things that I went to in June. I guess not a lot, but there were at least a few that working on these were great so I can like talk to people and listen in on conversations, and not have to focus too much on my knitting, but still get lots of knitting done. So these are my June socks. And my new cast on this week is my July socks. But yeah, we'll get to that towards the end of my whips. Speaking of whips, let's talk about my whips this week. Okay, I got some work done on my Robinson wrap cardigan by Florence Miller. Let me hold it up. Yay. I finished the sleeve. I finished the right sleeve. When I hold it like this, you can see where the decreases happen. I did do some modifications on this sleeve. I think my gauge maybe is like slightly off, but it's fine. But let me just talk about what happened. Oh, actually, let me talk about details first. This is the Robinson wrap by Florence Miller. The yarn I'm using for this is Woolberry, Berry Suri, and Berry Merino held together, both in the colorway Sweatshirt, which is a great purpley gray color. I am knitting size B, and I'm using US 6 needles, 4.0 millimeter needles to knit this. It is a wrap cardigan, so there is a wrapped portion here in the front. It's just really hard to like hold this up as I'm talking about it. But okay, so last time we talked, I believe that this is my stitch marker. I started the sleeve and then I finished it. I followed the instructions, I think, for how... Oh, I need to go back and I probably should actually write this down because I thought my brain could remember this since I just did this past week. But, well, I can just look at it when I'm doing my second sleeve because I made changes. I was looking at how long the sleeve would measure after I'm done. And it was going to be way, 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 way too long. And so I needed to find a way to shorten it. So what I did was, decreases don't start. You actually just work from after the pickup. You work straight for quite a while. And I think last time I said, I'm pretty sure you just work until like around the elbow and then you start decreasing. And so I just worked until in the pattern there is a measurement. So like work until a certain number of centimeters length. And for me, I was like, I think that that's too long. And so I just went until it was around just slightly past my elbow, I think, of just straight. Then I started the decreases. I did the decreases at the rate that it said. And then I still had, I think, a little bit more length that I needed, which the pattern does say just work straight until a certain length. But once the decreases were done, I still had a little bit more to go. But I felt like, and I think again, I think my stitch gauge is a little big. And this is supposed to be a more fitted sleeve. And for me, there is some positive ease, which I prefer. I'm actually very happy with this. I did not want a really tight sleeve. And so I'm very happy. However, once it started getting towards my wrist, it still looked quite large, even though I finished the decreases. And so I decided to just do more decreases at a faster rate in kind of like the short length that I needed until, well, I guess maybe here, until I wanted to start the cuff. And I think it worked out great. I mean, I think you can see it right here, right? There's like a slight decrease going here, and then there's like rapid decreases on these like last few rows. And then I did the ribbing, and 1x1 rib, a Italian bind off, and very happy with the fit of this sleeve. And so I am planning on doing the exact same for the second sleeve. And I did, like I said before, whenever I do like a sleeve or like socks, once I finish one, I have to immediately start the other one. Otherwise, I feel like it's just going to be a lot of effort for me to like pick it back up, to pick up those stitches. And so I did start the second sleeve. I am still working on just the straight part. But I think I still have, I think, a ways to go before I start decreasing. So just knitting straight in stockinette rounds for the second sleeve. But I'm so close, and this pattern is on my Make 9 for this year, so it'd be really great to get this done in the month of July. That would be great. But yeah, that's the progress on this. It's been going well. I had 3 skeins total of each of the Suri and the fingering weight, and I'm still on my second skeins of each, and I wonder if I'm not even going to reach my third skein of my fingering weight, but I'll definitely need my third skein of my Suri. But yeah, feeling great about my yarn, I guess, like however much yarn I need for the project. Like, I'm not worried about running out, which is always great. But yeah, this is gonna be cozy. I'm kind of it's hot right now, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, even if I finish this right away, I have not really any urge to wear it. But I'm hoping when I finish it, maybe it'll be on a nice, cool, cloudy day here, where I would want to wear it. But yeah, that's exciting. Okay, let's talk about my next one. Where's the bag? Okay, this one got a lot, I would say, of progress done this past week. Oh my gosh, I just pulled it out of the bag and it slipped off the needles. Okay, I'm fixing it just a little bit. This is my green knit, matching knit with my knit friends. This is the Penelope top by Sari Nordlund, and the yarn is Zeezee Textiles Silk Sock in the colorway Nordlys, and I'm knitting size 2. I'm using US 2.5 needles, which is 3.0 millimeter needles. I know that needle sizes are confusing, like the US size versus the millimeter size. But yeah, I've made some progress, and I will hold it up. I mean, it still looks kind of plain and odd, potentially, but this is what I have. It is longer. I wonder if I have, maybe the stitch marker was where I was last time. But I know for sure from the last time we talked, I added the eyelet row. The lighting is kind of weird, so you might not be able to see it, but do you see there's just like holes basically all across this row, all the way around the body. And I did that, and then there's also a whole bunch of increases that happen around the body as well, right kind of under those. But you can't really tell because all the stitches are squished on my needles right now, but I'm getting really close to doing the fun lace hem part of this top, and then that will add a lot more interest to this. I did try this on to make sure this eyelet row is where the I-cord is going to go through, and it's supposed to hit around your waist. And Sari Nordlund in the pattern does give about like the length that you should knit from the underarm to where you start the eyelet row. And I thought, well, I'm gonna just try it on and see where we're at. And it seems like the length she gave in the pattern fit well for me. Like, that's where my waist hit, and so I just went with that length. And yeah, so right now I'm just working straight, just in stockinette again after doing a whole bunch of increases. And I just need to keep knitting until, like, I think it says like 3 inches before you want the hem, because that's how much like the lace is supposed to be. And so maybe at that point, well, I'm gonna just measure and go until it's 3 inches. And depending how I'm feeling, I might just start the lace, or I might put this on. I might try it on just to see how I'm liking the length. But I think I'm going to like the length that it's going to be. And wow, look at that color. My camera's having like a hard time. Every time I hold it up, it's like, whoa, need to adjust the lighting. But yeah, it's looking great. I mean, it looks like a tank. I am almost done with my first skein of yarn. So here's how much I have left. I was hoping to finish up the skein before filming the video, but I just didn't have time. But once I finish this, and if that is before I work on the lace, which I really hope it is, then I will, when I join my second ball of yarn, I'm going to do the finishing like neckline and I assume probably armhole area. There might be some finishing, probably I-cord. I haven't looked that part of the pattern yet, but I want to do, the finishing for around the neckline area, and then continue on with the rest of the body, just so that I can have, when I hold it up, it's like it looks finished except for the bottom. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. That's my kind of like quick update. I worked on this quite a bit during some events that happened last weekend. Actually, okay, while we're talking, I just need to not finish. I want to fix the stitches that are all funky. But yeah, I worked on this quite a bit. Last weekend was my friend's wedding, and it was a great time. Yeah, I brought this to the events around the wedding and also the wedding. And don't worry, our friend who was getting married told us, she's our knit friend in our knit group, she told us to bring knitting, and so there was like a whole table of us who were like knitting, or when we were standing up, we were just like knitting and talking, and it was quite fun. So brought my green knit, and some other people also brought their green knit to work on, and it was great. So yeah, lots of work was done on that. This was, it's stocking it in the round. So again, it's like a great project for knitting and not thinking, knitting and talking to other people and not being distracted by the knitting, So that was great. I'm happy with the progress on that. I need to get that done before Flock. And I just can't believe Flock is a month away. It came up so fast, and I have a lot of things I want to do before Flock. But yeah, okay, I think I'm on a good timeline with this knit. Let's talk about my next knit that is also ideally I want to finish before Flock as well, because this is my second knit for the PKW Flock You Knitalong that I am hosting along with Meghan and Emily. Let me hold it up. This is, okay, now I remember what I worked. I can't believe this was this past week. I feel like this was like ages ago that I did this. Okay, let me hold it up. This is the Nolita Tank by Tori. The yarn I'm using is Sea Change Fibers Bayshore Fingering Base in the colorway Skyflower. And I am knitting size 2. I'm using US 6 needles, 4.0 millimeter needles to knit this. And yeah, it's great. I'm very happy with it so far. I'm surprised. Well, okay, first off, this is like a DK weight pattern. So the yarn that I have is fingering weight. I'm holding it double. This is some yarn that I got last year at Flock, and so I'm really hoping to finish this top before this Flock, just to feel like I'm, using the yarn that I got from Flock last year. And then, okay, as you maybe noticed, I did the neckline and armhole finishings for this top, and I'm very pleased with it. So if you've seen this pattern, and I probably did put up a picture of it, there is optional, you don't have to do contrast color, but the pattern does have instructions for contrast color for the armhole and the neckline. And mine's just kind of folding in just a little bit, so it might be a little hard to see. But I decided to go with a light pink color. I had like a fingering weight yarn that was just like left over from a previous project, held it double, and use that for the edging. And then it does finish off with an I-cord edging in your main color. And so I thought that was really fun. I wanted to pick a pink color to kind of like pull out the little pink purpley flecks that are in the main color, which I think is really cool. I really love the color of this main color yarn. Also because, and I think I mentioned this before, but the way that this dyed, it was dyed as a tonal, like as the blue color, but because there's cotton in it, it is a Shanico cotton yarn fiber material. So just the way that for some reason that this specific color dyed the yarn, it like some parts of it just picked up more of like the pinky purple colors than the blue, and I think it's so pretty. So yeah, here's the tank. I think it's going to be a really great summer knit and summer wear, and I think that I'm really excited to feel what this yarn base feels like, and it would actually be really great if I could, this is my second knit for as I said, the PKW Flock You Knitalong, which will end at the end of Flock, and so ideally I would have this done for the Knitalong, before the end of Flock, but it would also be really cool to have this done and for me to like wear it and see how it wears, because at least I'm hoping, I didn't look, but if Sea Change Fibers is going to be at Flock again, it'd be kind of nice to get more of this yarn base if I end up liking it and liking how it wears and how it feels. So those are my goals. And then just for reference, like I did work on the neckline and the armholes, which took a lot longer than I thought it would. But I also did still work a little bit more on the body. And so this was my stitch marker from last time. I am shocked, actually, at, I was telling Megan this at our knit night this past week. I was like, why? Because I worked on this, and I was like, why, for a DK weight project, and just knitting the body in the round, it's not growing as fast as I would have thought. It was just kind of weird. I was like, felt like we were talking a lot, and I was like knitting a whole bunch, and I looked down, and I was like, I only knit like 3 rows and all of that. That's like crazy. So yeah, but it's an easy knit. Right now it is just all stock knit until I'm done with the body. So easy knit, should be relaxing, but also like when there's deadlines. I mean, I don't have to finish this, right? It's not like something bad's gonna happen if I don't, but would really love to finish it, and so I gotta get working, especially if the body feels like it's taking a long time. I might need to give myself a little more time to work on it than I think that I need. But yeah, so that's the Nolita Tank. Okay, next up, what do I want to talk about? I guess I will talk about this one. Is that really all I worked on this week? I guess so. Okay, here is some progress on my blanket knit. The, oh my gosh, the Mitered Corner Blanket by Purl Soho. I don't want to say this every single time that I talk about this blanket, but I am following the pattern by Purl Soho. I'm following the stitch counts for the size small that's in this pattern. It is also a free pattern on their website, and I do have it linked. I have everything linked down below. I am using US 6 needles, 4.0 millimeters to make this. And the only difference that I feel like it's not really a modification, but in the Purl Soho instructions, there are 4 different ways to make this square, or each of these squares. There's like one instruction for like the first one you make, because that's like the only time you're gonna have to just make one that's not attached to anything. And then you have instructions for knitting one on top of a square, knitting one next to another square, and then one kind of like, diagonally in between 2 squares. One of those instructions has you purling every single row. These are garter stitch squares that you just do decreases, so it's kind of builds up diagonally. And I was like, I am not going to do purl only squares. And so the way that I picked it up, I just am doing it the other way so that I have just knit rows to do. So that's the only modification I'm making. I will probably say it occasionally when I'm talking about this blanket, just in case someone missed it. But yeah, okay, I think that this is in the direction. So this is, I will just try to remember, this pink square was my first square. And the blanket will just be building out this way, I guess up and sideways, diagonally. But this will be like the bottom first square. And I believe this week, it's going to be hard for me to keep track because I'm kind of doing it in whatever order I want. But I think that I added in these 3 squares this week, just all in a vertical row here. I wanted to go with some and I'm using all leftover yarn. I think this was a combination of 2 different yarn colors. Love this. I wish I had more of it to make a garment, but It's a great yarn to have in a cute little blanket. I think this is also a combination of two, like a tonal and a variegated yarn. And then I think this also was a combination of two different yarn, but like very similar colors. So yeah, it's fun. I'm liking the color scheme that's going on. I'm really not gonna be too like picky about like all the colors that go in it. I really kind of just want it to be like random assortment, but look somewhat nice-ish together, which I don't know what that means, but I will just hold up yarn and be like, I think that looks nice together. I'm gonna try and like spread out the dark and light so that I don't have just like a blob of light colors and then like a blob of dark colors. But we'll see what happens. I'm not, I just want to have another knit blanket that uses up a lot of my leftover scrap yarn. And each square takes, and I'm doing all of this fingering weight held double. And so each square is 6 grams of yarn. And so that means that I can use like even some of the smallest scraps that I have or leftover. Because if I'm just combining, if I have 2 different balls of yarn, it's just 3 grams of each. Like if I'm holding 2 from different ones and I have 3 grams and 3 grams. And so I really can grab like the smallest bits of scraps that I have for my yarn. And so I'm hoping that this uses up quite a bit of yarn. Oh, I also, as far as like the pattern goes, I do not have a number of squares that I'm trying to hit. And I don't know what size. I'm just going to keep going until it feels right. So, and then at that, once I feel like it feels right, then I will count the squares. I'll probably be counting as I go, right? But I want it to be fun. I want it to be scrappy, and it's bringing me a lot of happiness. And so it's great. And now that I've memorized how to do it, I don't have to look at a pattern to make these squares. And that's like even better. So, and right now it's at a nice, reasonable size. I do wonder once it gets large enough, like, is it going to feel annoying to like bring out and knit on? But I've knit 2 knitted blankets last year. And I can do it. I can knit blankets. So I'm really looking forward to knitting on this. I would love to have this done before the end of the year, mostly also so that I can have this yardage in my like 2025 yardage counts. But I'm not going to be too stressed about it. I do want this to just continue to be fun. But I already, I want to make more blankets, even though I just started this one. But I'm going to keep going with this one. I mean, of course, I will keep going with this one. But I want to knit more blankets. I cannot do more multiple blankets at a time. That would actually be kind of crazy. But yeah. So this is my quick update on that blanket. I'm just going to like keep going with it. Okay, and then the last knit thing to talk about, which feels short. And where did it go? I think I brought it down. Oh no, it's right here. Okay, so it's in an awkward spot right now, but I will hold up what I have. These are my July socks that I started, and these are making me very happy. I'm like really happy that now that we're like halfway through the year, and halfway through the socks for the year of socks, that I'm still feeling quite happy with doing monthly socks. Okay, I am following a pattern for this one, though I am making some adjustments. I am knitting the Impasto socks by Bridget, and I did make some adjustments. Before I talk about it, the yarn I'm using for this is Sewrella yarn classic sock in the colorway California Adventure, and this makes me very happy because I will also talk about why in a little bit, but so many colors. And I know Sewrella, my June socks were also Sewrella, but when I lined up my sock yarn for this year, these two just felt like it needed to be June and July, and this is perfect for July. Colors are very happy. And okay, so the sock pattern is very cool because there's instructions for cuff down and also toe up. And when I was thinking about this, it has a fleegle heel in the pattern, and I've done a fleegle heel before and it's been fine, although I've only done it with toe up, and so doing cuff down would have been interesting. However, and I say this even before I've like tried on and worn my June socks, which has the Fish Lips Kiss heel, which I think I'm going to like, but I don't know yet, but I have a feeling I'm really going to like the fit of them. So I decided to switch out the heel and do a Fish Lips Kiss heel for this sock. And so that is the only change I'm making to this sock pattern. I am doing it cuff down because I feel like just fit for when to start the heel. I feel more confident doing that cuff down than toe up right now. But yeah, I am following the stitch pattern for these socks. And it's really cool with the lighting I have right now, which kind of sucks, but there's shadows, which is good in this case because then you can see the stitch pattern. This sock yarn, the colorway is very colorful, and so you would maybe think for a pattern or like a stitch pattern sock, it would be less ideal because you can't really see the stitch pattern as clearly, but I think it's going to work really nicely with this. To me, it kind of looks like little waves that are just going across. They're kind of like there's diagonals happening and all of that. I really like how this sock looks, and I was just, or the pattern, the design, and I've been waiting for like a sock yarn to inspire me to use it, and I felt like this would be a good one. It feels like it kind of fits the this yarn was from, it's called California Venture, and I believe it was from the Disney collection from Sewrella, probably a couple years ago now. And then you'll see I'm at an awkward spot because I am in the middle of doing my heel. Like, I'm not even done with the first part of the shaping of the heel. Just stuff happened. Things happened this weekend, and I just couldn't get it done. But I'd love to get past the heel and get back on to working with the stitch pattern and the rest of it. So this yarn colorway, very fun, because it's from the Disneyland collection from Sewrella. And I have a fun picture idea this month for these socks. And so I'm hoping to get these socks done even before the end of this month. Actually, probably ideally like the middle of this month. At least one side would be great, but two, the whole pair would be even better. But yeah, I am really, really excited for that. And these colors make me so happy. I think it's knitting up really nicely. Overall, just like very pleased. I love it. I love it. I'm just like really happy that I am feeling still motivated and happy about my socks for this year. So yeah, gotta get started working more on these socks. But I think I'm in a good spot. I mean, this cuff or the like leg part of this sock is much shorter than the one that I made in June, and so that helped kind of like speed things up a bit. But yeah, again, very happy, very happy. Colors are very happy. Sun's out. It's summertime. It's making me very happy. Okay, so that was my one new cast on. Did I say, I'm following instructions for size 1 for the sock, and I'm using US 1 needles, 2.25 millimeter needles to knit that. That is my default sock knitting needles. Okay, let's talk about spinning, because I have a lot of updates, and we also need to talk about Tour de Fleece, because I also have some updates on that. Okay, spinning, kind of like a lot of spinning happened this past week. It's slightly why there's some less knitting done this past week. I wanted to clear my wheel, my bobbins, in preparation for Tour de Fleece. And so, I'm pretty sure that this happened this week. I'm like pretty sure. I needed to clear off what was on my Ladybug wheel because that's the wheel I wanted to use for Tour de Fleece. As you can see, the bobbin's not clear, but at least I'm done with the spinning, so I just have to get this off. This is ply. This is my 2-ply fractal spin of the Nest Fiber Club Superfine Merino. This was from November 2023. Colorway is called Glad Tidings, and this is going to be one of the prizes for the Flock You, PKW Flock You Knitalong that I mentioned before. So exciting if you like what you see. I'm very happy with how this came out too. And it is a super fine merino, so it's like really, really soft. I wonder how it's going to look and feel after I kind of like, after I wind it off into a skein and wash it and do all of like the finishing on it and stuff. But I think it'll be really nice and soft. Hopefully it doesn't like fall apart. But yeah, so this is the finished bobbin of that. And then I did have like, wow, when I split this out into the 2 plies, usually, after you're done, you're not, I would say almost ever have equal, even if you weight it out, right? You can spin it different ways, your singles. And so when you're done, you'll always have kind of like one leftover singles. And I usually just like, make a, center pull ball with the extras and then 2 ply the extras. This one, I had so little, like it was almost very evenly, like exactly, almost equal. And so I had so little left of the leftovers. I did ply it. I wonder if it's like probably less than 5 yards, I think, of leftover. Like, it's crazy. It's such a small amount, but I did ply it up. I don't know what I'm going to do with the leftovers. Yeah, so I just need to wind those off the bobbins or skein them up off the bobbins. Okay, so now the ladybug wheel is like clear. But I also wanted to finish my sweater spin. And this is the Zeezee Textiles Rambouillet in the colorway Elberdritchel, and I almost finished plying. I actually just have the leftovers off of one to finish up, but I really hope I can get that done today. But majority of it is all, I think last time I showed you the first 2 full bobbins of plied up yarn, and then I finished 2 more bobbins of plied up yarn. I had quite a bit of extra off of the first. I will show you. This is actually crazy to look at all the bobbins. These look chonky. Like, they're like overflowing off of the bobbins, especially this purple one. They're overflowing. And I just had a little extra of the leftover because these are, oh my gosh. Again, these are 2 plied sort of fractal spin, but the colors they were kind of dyed all random, so I split them like a fractal, but who knows how the colors are going to behave. And then these are the first 2 that I plied up. Like, look at this one versus this one. Like, look how much more is on this purple one. And even just like, there's less on both of these, my first 2, than in my last 2. And it kind of makes sense because after I plied these 2, I had a ton left over. Like, there was, like I was just saying with the other spin where I had very little left over on one of the singles. After these, there was like a ton left over. Sorry, I'm trying to like put these away. There was a ton left over on those after those first 2. So I did have to ply those separately. So I'm going to have 6 total skeins, but I'm going to have 4 main skeins and then 2 like leftover. But one of the leftovers is like quite a bit. So it'll be interesting. It's fine. But yeah, this was so much. So much. I think that this is 10. A total. Each of these are like 5 ounces of yarn or fiber. Supposedly, I had a total of 20 ounces of fiber braid. So, this was a lot of plying. Got it done. I just need to, I am going to use these bobbins. I was planning on using these bobbins for my Tour de Fleece spin to like wind off of my my ladybug onto these because I have more of these bobbins than my ladybug ones, but I want to like actually spin on my ladybug wheel. But plans have changed. And so I got all of that pretty much done in preparation for Tour de Fleece. But my plans have changed. But let me tell you what my initial plans were. So I was planning on doing a sweater spin for Tour de Fleece with a couple of friends who also have the same fiber. And so I'm going to hold it up. I've talked about it before when I got it. This is the Rhubarb Crumble fiber. This is from Walnut Farm. It is a Polworth wool and like tweed colored bits in there. It's really cute and really pretty. And I think a few other people I saw. I am in the Discord for the Little Fiber Co. Tour de Fleece like sweater spin thing. So this was my plan up until today, which is crazy, I know. Also, Tour de Fleece started yesterday, and I did no spinning yesterday. Absolutely no spinning yesterday on the start of Tour de Fleece, which is not how I thought would be my start. Also, I realized when I was looking again at my schedule for July, I'm going to be not able to spin for the last week of Tour de Fleece. And so I was like, well, if I want to do a sweater spin, that means I would have like 2 weeks to do a sweater spin, which is crazy. But I was like, it's fine, I'll just start it. But my other friends who were planning on doing this, I think are not going to do this for Tour de Fleece either. So I was like, let's just start it later together because I was feeling a little bit stressed about this anyway. And so it kind of works out. But look how cute. Like, I'm a little sad not starting it, but I'd rather not feel rushed or stressed about it when starting it. Also, I just finished a sweater spin, so maybe it would be good to take a break from sweater spins. But since I made that decision earlier today, I was like, what am I going to do for Tour de Fleece? Because I still want to do something, nothing official, right? Like, I'm not joining a team. I'm not, entering for any prizes for other things or whatever, but I would just like to kind of like lightly participate or at least have some kind of goals for me. So here's my idea. This could change, but I think that this is a great idea. Flock is coming up soon, and I was looking at what I bought from Flock last year, yarn and fiber, and I haven't spun as much fiber from my purchases at Flock last year. Not as much as I thought I would by this time, it comes around again. So I was like, what if my goal, or at least what I work on for Tour de Fleece, is just, spin the fiber that I got from Flock last year. So I tried to pull out what I think is what I got. I mean, I can just refer to my picture of my purchases last year, which I will do later, but in preparation for this video, I just pulled out what I thought. And also, I don't think I can spin all of this during Tour de Fleece either, but it's a good place to start. I will hold up the fiber I have. I think I will start with the one I think I will start with. It's these two little cuties. These are from Skagit Woolen Works, and each of these are 2 ounces. So if I would do is spin, one on one bobbin, one on the other, and do a 2-ply, and then I'll get a 4-ounce skein of yarn. That's like 1 full braid. This is a Targhee alpaca fiber, so it's crazy feeling because it has that bounce from the Targhee, but it has this silkiness that's not normal to a Targhee, I feel like. So yeah, I've been wanting to use this and spin it. It just, hasn't happened. And so I feel like this is the time. This is Tour de Fleece is a good time for me to break into some of this really fun fiber, because the fiber I got from Flock last year are really fun fiber blends, or just fiber itself. So yeah, this one, I feel like I want to do this one. The color is called Posy. I think that's what it says on the band here, but it's so cute. It's so cute. I've been wanting to spin it, and so I should probably just start spinning it. So that's option option 1. I mean, it would be ideal if I got more of these done too during Tour de Fleece, but that is maybe the first one that I'm going to start with. Okay, the next one is this. This is from Sincere Sheep. I did get another, do you remember the one that I had that was, it was kind of like a gray-brown color? This is more brown. I had a more gray one that I got from Sincere Sheep from Flock last year, and it had the Angora Bunny in it. It was Angora Bunny plus something else. Like, it was less Angora Bunny percentage than the other thing, but it was still very nice and soft. But I also got these, and this is Merino Alpaca Roving. It says 65% Merino, Cormo, Lincoln, Wensleydale. Yeah. What else? Oh, and 35% Suri alpaca. I was like, where's the alpaca mention on here? Yeah, and each of these, again, are 2 ounces. So together, that's 4 ounces. That's like 1 braid. This feels so soft. Like, so soft. And again, would love to spin with it. It's a cool blend of fibers. That would be really nice to spin and to have a really nice soft skein of handspun. So, and it's a really nice, I do really like this shade of brown too. So another option, if I could do both during Tour de Fleece, like 1 per week, would be great as well. This is another option. Okay, and then here's the other ones that I got from Flock that's so exciting, and I'm just like kind of, I don't know what to do with them, and so maybe this is the one that if I have extra time I'll work on, and if not I'll just keep thinking about it. But these are, I got this from Fiber and Flame. So I have 2 of these. Again, these are each 2 ounces, so together 4 ounces. Thin wool, and I think that, actually I think all of these, well, all of these might be, I would maybe woolen spun, which is exciting. I haven't done like a long draw spin in a while, and so that would be nice to do as well. This was processed by Skagit Woolen Works. And I have it in this color, this light brown color, actually quite a similar vibe to the other ones I like just showed you. And then I also have 2 of this darker brown, same like thin wool. And I don't know what I would do. Would I just spin both separate? So I have like 1 4-ounce skein of like a light brown and 1 4-ounce skein of a dark brown, or would it be really cool to ply them together? So I'd have 2 skeins of like oh my gosh. I mean, the plies that are like each of the colors. That could be really fun, but I also would be worried, like, if it looks weird, then that would be sad. But it would be fun, right? To do 1 ply of each. And they're both brown, and so I feel like it's just one's lighter and one's darker. And it should be fine in my head. But that's kind of stopping me from starting this, because I don't really know what I want to do with the plying situation yet. But I think that is majority of the rest of the, I think that's it. No. I bought some other hand-dyed fiber from Flock last year. Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot more than I could spin during Tour de Fleece. But these are the ones I think I would start with for that. So I think that's going to be my plan for Tour de Fleece. And so things changed really quickly. I mean, again, it was just earlier today that I was like, decided. Actually, Shreya messaged me and asked me about what, if I was going to do my sweater spin. That decision for me was made earlier today, and so I had some time to decide, and I think that's what I'm going to do, because I would love to get through some more fiber and yarn from Flock last year so that I can buy some more this year, and I have like 1 week. I have 1 month until Flock, basically, so it's go time. It's go time to spin and to knit. So that's my Tour de Fleece plans. I know, I wish I had some actual spinning done so I could show it to you. But it was just a busy weekend. Speaking of busy weekends, let's talk really quickly about what I did, which was not knitting or spinning, this weekend. I had Friday off for 4th of July. I had a great weekend. It was a great weekend. I actually barbecued some steaks for 4th of July. I mean, and it was kind of I thought maybe we would do it. I have just a very small portable grill that I got for free. That I was like, I don't know if it's going to work to cook actual steaks, but we're like, let's just try it. And so we did, and that was fun. The cleanup was horrible, but the food turned out really great. I mean, it was just steak. And then we also grilled some zucchini. But I was really proud because that was the first time I actually charcoal grilled on my without my dad, because my dad is the one who has grilled in the past for us on a charcoal grill. I've seen him do it, but I've never done it myself. And so I felt proud that it worked out and the food turned out great. We also toasted some marshmallows after, which is my favorite part that we used to do, again, with my dad. So that was fun. And, but yeah, that took a lot of time of the day. But again, it was great. It was fun. And then I also watched a movie with some of my friends on Saturday. It's a Netflix movie. It's K-pop Demon Hunters, if you've heard of it. I do not have Netflix, but I have a friend who does, and we kind of all wanted to watch the movie, and so we went over to her house and watched it, and that was a great time too. I did not bring knitting, but it was a great time. We ate snacks while watching the movie, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. It had more plot than I was expecting, more story. I thought it would just mostly be really fun music, but I enjoyed the story. It was really great. So that was fun, but again, also took a lot of time away from knitting and spinning. But again, it was fine. It was good. And then, the thing that really took a lot of my knitting and spinning time, I sewed something. I was sewing something this weekend. I thought I would finish it this weekend, the whole thing. But why do I keep thinking that sewing will take, be so fast? And it's a big project, but I spent a lot of Friday doing the prep of tracing out the pattern, cutting it out, cutting out the fabric. I might have sewed some things and prepped some things on Friday. Then I did a lot of the sewing on Saturday. And then I woke up early-ish this morning, worked on it, and then I was like, wow, it's lunchtime, what happened? And I'm not quite done yet. But I think the only thing I have to do now is actually make the buttonholes and sew on the buttons. And then it's done. But okay, let me hold up what I have. It's a dress. And I'm really happy about this one, and it's really fun because this pattern is called Noe, and it's by my friend Rumor. It was her first, I don't know if you remember, but, I have the book or the magazine here, but this was my friend Rumor's first published pattern in this Talco magazine, issue number 15, summer 2025. And I was so excited for my friend. I'm still excited for my friend. So cool that she has a published sewing pattern in here. And it's called Noe. I'm trying to find the page just to show you the picture of it. Here's the pictures of it. And it's a dress. There's a couple different ways. There's one version that has ruffles and another that doesn't. So the ruffles are optional, but if there's ruffles, I'm doing it. Love ruffles, but they're so annoying. They really test my patience in sewing. But I love the result, and so I deal with it, but I really, in the moment when I'm making them, any kind of gathering for sewing, it's so annoying. I do not like it, but I love the result, and so I deal with it. But anyway, there's those different versions. The design is kind of inspired by muumuus, the dresses, Hawaiian dresses. And so here's my version. There's supposed to be buttons all the way down, and so right now it's just an open dress. I made the long version. It's very long. Here's the hem. Long dress. I did the ruffle version. There's also, like, you don't have to do all the ruffles, but I did all the ruffles. So, if you look closely, there's 2 ruffles in the front. So one just like under here, and then another row on top here. And as you can see, because it's 2 different pieces, that's 4 I had to make. Also ruffles around the neckline. Oh my gosh. And they were smaller. And so they were very, like, so, yeah, difficult for me to make. Also because I don't sew a lot. And so whenever I do them, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not practiced enough probably to make them or for it to feel easier. And then there's also ones around the armhole. These ones I was really thinking about not doing, but I already made them and I was like, I just got to do it. So there's also ruffles around the armholes, and then there's also a ruffle across the back here. How cute. I do love how this looks. Also, there is a box pleat down the back here, and there's also more pleats in the front here, like 3 pleats on each front. There's also pockets in this dress. Always need pockets in dresses. Again, that could have also been optional, but I love pockets on dresses. So I did that. And, yeah, don't look too closely at my hemming job because that was a disaster, but it's fine. No one looks at the hem anyway, right? And, yeah, okay, also, the fabric that I use, it has all of these small little flowers, pink and orange flowers on it. And this was fabric I got from Japan, from my Japan trip, which I went with my friend Rumor. And so it felt very fitting that to make my friend's pattern, that I used some fabric that I bought when I went to Japan with her. And so that was really fun. Yeah. And so I feel like it's good. It's all like memories that are going to be in this dress, and it feels extra special. Okay, I also want to mention, I think it's really cool. There's like this upper bodice piece, basically from like up here, this top part, and like in the back, you can see that there's like this, the right side facing on the inside. And if you don't sew, this might not make any sense, and it still does not make sense to me, even though I did it. But the way that was like encased and enclosed, like so that the raw edges are on the inside, use like the burrito method. And I've done this before on another top, but I remember when I did that, the pattern was very hand-holdy, which was great for me because I was like, what do you mean? But I remember it happened, and then I was like, wow, that was magic. I don't know what I did, but it worked. And so this time around, I was like, oh gosh, I have to do it 3 times, and I don't know what's happening. And so it took me a little bit. It took me quite a bit of time. I will say most of the time I spent trying to make this dress was me being like, what? So, I mean, okay. Also, Rumor is my friend. I could have messaged her and been like, please help. Send help. But also I'm just like I will figure it out by myself type of person. But I figured it out. It worked out. And so that was cool. Okay. So I'm not done yet. You will see this again once I add buttons, but also that might take a while because just like my knitted things that have buttons, picking buttons and then sewing them on, and then I still have to make the buttonholes. That's annoying and scary with the sewing machine, although much better than if you had to do it by hand. So it might take me a while to figure out what to do with that, or like what buttons in particular I want to use. But wow, it looks so cute. It kind of looks like a sleeping gown, but I do feel like some muumuus do kind of look like sleeping dresses, but I will wear this out. And I think it's very cute. Wow, a lot of this really did test my patience. Also, my fabric was like maybe a little too thick for a lot of the ruffle work on this, and so some parts are feeling a little chunky. But you know, the more I sew, the more hopefully I will learn what feels right for fabric. I feel like it's kind of like the sense with yarn, where I'm like, when you do yarn substitutions, sometimes DK weight yarns aren't really DK weight yarn. Like, you also have to look at the gauge. And I think that there is also weight or something for fabrics, but I do not know, don't have a sense, I have no idea. And it's not like it comes, when you buy fabric, it doesn't like come with all of the information on like how much it weighs per yard. Maybe some of them do, but like these ones didn't. I mean, I don't know. So, but it's fine. It worked out fine. But yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, this is my first time knitting a sewing pattern from like a magazine book situation. And I feel like I've sewn patterns from like, individual, like, you know, small business or like, you know, designers that not in books with a whole bunch of other patterns. And those patterns have felt a lot more hand holding, which is great for me as someone who doesn't sew a lot and is not very knowledgeable in a lot of techniques. And there's always lots of pictures, lots of diagrams on how to do something or what something's supposed to look like. And that's all been great. I think that similar to knitting, books where you do have to kind of, you have space constraints, you have to kind of put less information, less pictures, less diagrams. And so it was a little more difficult for me as someone who doesn't sew a lot to kind of figure out what was going on or what needed to happen, although I eventually did figure it out, I think. But what was really nice was in the, if you buy, you know, the magazine, you can buy, I have the link for this pattern in the description, and you can buy the digital version of just this pattern. You don't have to buy the whole book. But with the book, it came with all of the printed out sheets with the pattern pieces. I thought, okay, but this was crazy. I was expecting kind of like multiple sheets per pattern, but they had sheets with different pattern pieces on the same sheet that was just overlapping but in different colors. And again, that's like saving space for paper. And I thought, I mean, that's so smart, but like crazy. Like I didn't know what to expect. And so that was like a new experience for me. But it was great because I didn't have to print out the pattern pieces and tape them together. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience. I feel like this stretched me a little bit more, than I was expecting in terms of just like following a pattern that was like in book format, just like slightly less instructions or less pictures and diagrams. But again, it turned out with the dress and that it works. So great. I'm happy now. When I was making the ruffles, maybe less happy. But it turned out looking really cute and I'm happy. So I just need to do the buttons, but that's what I've been working on this entire weekend. That's why I did not start spinning for my Tour de Fleece. I was like, I could stop sewing to start spinning for Tour de Fleece, but I am rarely in the mood for sewing, even though I would love to. And so I was like, I need to follow this feeling of like, I want to spend my time sewing. Like I need to follow that. I need to go with it, because I don't know if it's going to come back or how long it's going to stay. So that's what I did, and that's what I decided for this weekend. And so really, lots of Friday, any time I had for crafting was spent on sewing this 3-day weekend, which I know is crazy. But now I'm at a point where, right, it's just the buttons. So it's time to put this onto the side a little bit while I decide on buttons, and I'm going to start spinning, and I'm going to start knitting for the rest of whatever I have for today. After I edit this video, after I make dinner, after I do some more chores. Might not be much time, but that's my plan. And that's what I did. I'm happy with how I spent my time this weekend. But yeah, I think that's now all I have to talk with you all today. Thank you so much for watching. I know that this video is coming out later than usual, but July is going to be quite a busy month. August is also going to be quite a busy month. So I need to just try and like stay calm and do what I can. Take breaks when I can and just follow. I need to do what makes me happy in the moment, not what I think I should be doing. Even though there's some things that have some deadlines that I would like, I really just need to like make sure I spend the free time I have doing things that I actually feel like wanting to do and what's going to make me happy in the moment. So I think it's going to be great. I'm feeling just a little stressed. Just a little bit, but I think it'll all be fine. I want to do some like office rearranging. I know I've been saying that for a little bit, but I have some like actual plans. I have things in my online cart to check out, to buy and to do. So we'll see how much that gets done in the next couple of months. I'm hoping a lot gets done. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all had a great week. And if you had a 3-day weekend, I hope you had a great 3-day weekend. And if you didn't, I hope you had a great normal weekend. And I will see you all next weekend. I think I'm free next weekend to film. Lots of things are happening. I'm trying to do one day at a time. But yeah, I should have a video next weekend. Let me know in the comments down below what you've been working on. If you started Tour de Fleece, what are your plans? Did your plans change from, before Tour de Fleece started to when it started? Yeah, I think my friend Emily, Gently Chaotic Knits, also has a podcast on YouTube if you don't know, although I'm pretty sure you do. She also had a change of plans for Tour de Fleece as well, and so yeah, I wonder if there's just like a lot more people, like, once you start, you're like, oh, maybe something else. And so, yeah, let me know in the comments down below, or just let me know how you're doing. And I will see you all in next week's video. Bye.